Hi everyone, Jojo here with Jojo Crosses. If you haven't played Animal Crossing New Horizons in literally years, you need to stop scrolling right now. Because yes, after years of silence, and we mean years, Nintendo just shocked everyone with not one, but two massive announcements for ACNH coming this January 15th, 2026, and we are so excited. You heard that right. The biggest update since 2.0 is officially on the way, and trust me, if your last memory is just diving for sea creatures or crafting endless tools, you have a lot to catch up on. In this video, I'm going to cut through all the noise and tell you about some of the most important things you need to know before you even think about booting up your island again, or also redoing your island, because honestly, I don't think that's the right answer. I don't think you should restart. I think you should go to your forever islands and just keep going, because that is the way to go right now. We're covering in this video, is the new Switch 2 edition playable on your old Switch 1? What exactly is included in the new 3.0 update? What happened to all the major updates and Happy Home Paradise content you missed? So if you have been gone since then, let's talk about that. And the question on everyone's mind, will your favorite treasure island still work in 2026? To be determined. Let's talk about it. This is Jojo again with Jojo Crosses, and we're about to prep for the biggest comeback in ACNH history. So let's get started. Okay, so one of the major questions that I hear everybody saying is, should I restart my island? Really, should I reset? Should I get going? You know, you've got a couple of months left before the update happens. Should I restart and, you know, accumulate as much as I can? My answer to you is no. I don't think it's a good idea to restart at this point. What you've already accomplished on your island is already getting you ahead right now. If you don't like the way your island looks, redo it, remodel it, redo some things in there to make you happy with it. But honestly, if you've already made some accomplishments, if you already got some things collected, why would you want to restart that? The whole point is to have your inventory full of things. So here's my forever island that I've had since January of this year, and I want to show you my shopping thing here to let you see just how much I've accumulated since January. Okay, let's do the not for sale things and turn those off. Here is my list of things. I mean, look at all of this. If I restarted trying to accumulate all this again with all the different variations and colors and everything would take me an eternity. And this is crazy. On my other island that I've restarted, I might have 1/10, maybe 1/100th of this accumulated, if even. So it's definitely something to take into account, is that you are never going to have the amount of things on your island if you restart again. I feel like it's just going to make it really hard on you, and you're going to have to be scrambling. Of course, you could go to Treasure Island now and try to, you know, pick up all the items and catalog everything again. But why start over like that when you've already done it, you know, a majority of the way on your forever islands and stuff like that? All right, so I wanted to talk about some of the features that are only available if you have a Switch 2 versus a regular Switch. The 3.0 update is available to everyone. A lot of the features, though, however, do require Nintendo Online in order for them to work. So the first thing that you will see that we have for the Switch 2 onlys are that they have improved the graphics, the 4K graphics, and those are only available to those who have the Switch 2. So they do a little side-by-side comparison here to just show you the difference, and you can plainly see it's pretty much more clear on the lines and everything of the little people. Also the Joy-Con mouse controls, obviously that has to do with the the Switch itself having that capability versus the Switch 1 not including that capability. So you can see here where they're using it to move things around and grab things and drag them around, stuff like that. So that is something that you would have to have that. You can also use it to make the drawings and pixelated stuff, and you can also use that to write on your boards and make pictures and stuff. So the megaphone is also another item that you have to have a Switch 2 in order to use. You purchase it here in Nook's Cranny, obviously, and it requires a microphone function, which is only available on the Switch 2. Our Switch original does not have that, and so that's why they couldn't do it. I'm wondering why they didn't allow like a text availability, but I'm not sure. There's also some expanded online features that you can only do if you have a Switch 2. Originally, you could have 8 people over at your island, but if everyone has a Switch 2, you can have up to 12 people on your island, and that is only available to people with Switch 2 to have that number of people on your island. But again, I mean, you can still, I'm not sure how they're going to work the 8 versus 12. They have this little Switch 2 camera thing as well that you can purchase, or a compatible one, they said, so it doesn't have to be the Nintendo one, but then it allows the little people's face to show up above everyone. I'm not sure that I'm so excited about that, but anyway, this is all available January 15th, 2026 for the Switch 2 Edition update. You can purchase it for $4.99. It is already available for pre-sale, or you can buy the game itself that includes the Switch 2 edition, you know, that way. The 3.0 update here is available to everyone. So as you can see, it is also available January 15th, 2026. And it is going to include a bunch of features that people can do. They're going to have a new hotel that they're going to put on your pier here. And so that is something that is super exciting and adds another facility to the island, and, you know, some new characters. They're actually, most of them are ones that we've seen in the past, but there's some that had never really had a functionality before. And so this is Captain's family. Looks like they all have a job in the hotel. And so I'm sure we'll learn all of their different jobs. But you're going to decorate all the rooms. They have some new items, obviously, showing up in there. And I don't believe you're going to need, you know, you don't need a Switch 2 for this, but you're definitely may need to have some online services if you want to save any of this. But I'm not sure. It's not really saying you need online purchase right now. So that may be something that everyone can get on their island. And then, you know, in order to have the other items like the people visiting and stuff, you may need to have your online services. So, but here's the little items you can buy with your hotel tickets that you earn. And there's a bunch of new items. They obviously are not showing everything, but those can only be purchased in the hotel. And there's also these little mannequins that you can dress up. And then these items will be offered to anyone who visits your island, or your villagers, I believe, can pick those up. It looks like the little villagers who are in the hotel can walk around on your island. And then, like I said, all of the people who visit your island can purchase these items. And as you see here, they're only picturing 8 people. So if you do not have Switch 2, then it looks like, you know, still only 8 can come over. And then also there's NPCs that you can load in here. And these NPCs are ones that are able to, you know, visit the hotel, and you can do rooms for them. But it appears that, you know, you obviously can't invite certain NPCs. And then they have this one here where you can craft multi-crafted items. It shows you doing multi-craft here on your island and also over here for Cap'n. I'm excited about that. I don't know what the limit will be, but I'm assuming it's going to be up to whatever you have available to make that item. Maybe up to like 99 or who knows, there probably is a limit of some kind, but and then you can expand your storage. That's the other thing that's going to be available to everyone. So you'll have 2 more levels, the 7,000 and the 9,000, and you can put plants, trees, bushes, flowers, pretty much everything can now go into your storage. Rossetti is another thing that is going to come to the island, and he is able to take away things that you may not want to have to do manually. You can do the entire island, just one small area, the beach. So there's a lot of different choices, which is awesome. And it looks like it's one of those functions where you'll have to call him, similar to when you need rescue or something like that, and then he'll do his process for you. And so once he's done, I assume he's just going to vanish away and, take off. So that's pretty cool. And then there's also the new Slumber Islands. The Slumber Islands are separate from going to sleep and having your dream address saved. So the Slumber Islands are a place where all of your friends can visit and help contribute to decorating the islands. It looks like you'll get introduced to Luna's new dream world, and that includes these slumber islands. You have a little space for all the beds to go, which is absolutely adorable. And looks like you have a little sleepy gyroid there with his sleep outfit on. Luna is there to guide everyone in, and then it's very similar to HHP decorating, so you can pick up the trees and move them like you can an item, which is kind of cool. And so you don't have to dig a hole and plant anymore. And then as we are terraforming or waterscaping, etc., looks like you can move forward, backward, and sideways a lot easier. And then in this part here, it looks like you can set up inclines. You can do, probably bridges and stuff, set the weather, bring over all your villagers. I'm assuming those extra slots at the bottom are for if you have other characters on your island, like other alts. Like if I made a Jojo 2, a Jojo 3 or whatever, I'm assuming that's what those extra slots are. I know some people were kind of hoping that you could bring over, like there'd be more villagers, but after looking at this a little further, I really think those slots are for like if you have alts on your island and you want your alts to come over, because that seems to match, but you never know. I mean, I'm just making assumptions here, and we won't find out until, obviously release day in January. So, but super exciting. I love that everyone can place things together on the island and decorate certain spots and areas. And then the other exciting thing coming are the collaborations. And so there's, now she calls this very rare finds. So I'm assuming you need to progress through a little bit before you get some of these. But they have all the different Nintendo items. And then they've also got these games that you can play on the Nintendo consoles that you can purchase. But you do have to have online for that. So I do know that. Also, these are going to be available over in the Nooks shopping app. So looks like everyone should be able to get their hands on all the Lego items, as well as other items that are coming to the game. I'm not sure how the Lego items are going to spawn in or be introduced, so that's interesting. Zelda as well as Splatoon are coming to us as well, which has a lot of fun and cute little decorative items. You're going to need to get your hands on an amiibo for those two different games, but Tulin is going to be a villager that you can obtain, as well as Minoru, and they're both super cute. Looks like, they'll have their little houses. That's what Minoru's house is going to look like, which is interesting. And looks like it's decked out in there with all that stuff. And then, of course, Splatoon has my squirrelies, who are a little crazy decorated, but they're modeled after the Splatoon characters. So that's kind of the look. You can see who they're modeled after. But if you notice, your character can get the Splatoon hairdos as well, it appears. Look at that character's hairdo. So definitely another addition. And those are all available with the free update version, January 15th, 2026. So that's pretty exciting. And I think everyone's going to be super happy to see all these new items and things available on your Switch 2 and during the update, that everyone can get. And you can kind of pull these apart and see all the new items, and it's going to be super exciting. So I can't wait for any of this to be introduced. I think we're going to be having a ball with it. So now let's just talk about a few other things. I definitely think that it would be good if you keep your islands the way they are now, but instead of restarting, if you just totally pack that island with as much stuff as you can, go to all the treasure islands, pick up all the Nook Mile tickets, get all the gold, get all the things, make yourself a few alts. Alt characters, make their houses, upgrade their houses with all that money that you're going to get at the Nook Mile or at the treasure islands and stuff. And totally just pack those houses full with each of those alt characters. It'll take you a little bit of work because each alt character has to get to a little bit of a certain point. But once they do and they're able to upgrade their tent, you really just need bells after that. So, but you do have to go through the motions with each character. And that's what I think people should really spend time on right now, is just getting those characters to where they are able to, fill their houses with all sorts of things. I mean, you could put, I think, 6 or 7 other alt characters on your island along with yourself. And so if you designated each character for a certain thing, like let's say one of them is just clothing and the whole house is full of clothes, then the next one is like special items that you would get from NPCs and stuff. And then the next one could be all just furniture. The next one could be all small items. Get every single color variation of each item. Get all of those and just put those in all those alt houses. I think you'd do yourself really well if you just did that. So just wanted to say that right now. I know a lot of people are restarting. I really think that's a big mistake. It seems like it'd be a lot easier to keep the progress you already have and just add to it. That way you don't have to go through the whole motions of restarting an island, getting it upgraded, getting to a certain point, and then getting all the items. You know what I mean? So that's my word of advice for this upgrade coming up. The other thing I wanted to discuss is treasure islands and modded switches and things like that. They are not going to be available when the update 3.0 comes out, probably not for quite some time. Just this last update that we had, it took the people who do the modded switches a couple of weeks to get an update so that we could actually update our modded switches to that. And even the update was not perfect right away. It took some time. So I think with the 3.0 update, it could be months, really months, before you can get yourself to a treasure island and stuff. So like I say, if there's any DIYs that you want that you don't already have, if there's any items that you have not had in your possession and you want to get them, I would say go and catalog everything. And maybe you don't want the supplies at your island. You just need money, and you just want enough to be able to purchase everything if you need it, or supplies. I mean, you could just fill your house with Nook Mile tickets, gold, and literally just all the wood, all the supplies you would ever need, and make everything and buy everything yourself. That would work too if you don't want to put alts on your island. But those are things that I suggest. Also, if you don't use treasure islands, the other alternative is just catalog things through your Nook's Cranny. Try to get as many DIYs as you can right now. Go to HHP if you have the DLC, and just go every single day. Go to Harv's every single day. See what you can obtain those ways, and just do it naturally. But I would take this next 6 weeks that we have left and really just upgrade a supply island. So anyway, I hope that this helps you. For those of you that have been gone for quite some time and didn't get to go to the HHP stuff and do the 2.0, well, boy, that is a lot to catch up on. And I think you will find that there have been so many changes and things that maybe restarting is a good thing for you, but I still think you don't need to restart in order to take advantage of all those things. If you already have an established island, you've already acquired a lot of items, and there's just a few things you're missing or whatnot, I would just catch up on that and kind of go from there. So those are my words of advice for this update. I hope you guys are excited as excited as I am, and that we all can collaborate and work together and have fun. My streams, I'm expecting to utilize those slumber islands. I think we're going to do some challenges. Everybody will build some islands together. It's going to be great. I'm really excited for it to go into effect. So I hope you guys are excited as I am. And I will see you all on my next video. So you guys take care and have a great rest of your week. I'm so excited. Let the countdown begin. We're just about into December right now. We only literally have like 6 weeks. So it's going to be so much fun. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.